All right, welcome back to Getting Sober, again, YouTube's fastest growing and friendliest community for no judgment sobriety. My name is Jay, and today I'm celebrating 1 year of sobriety. It's now time for the moment that you've all been waiting for. The 10 big benefits of being sober for 1 year. Remember, these are my personal results and observations, and results may vary. Number 1, I look way better. A year ago, I looked like I was having an allergic reaction to my own life. And who's to say I wasn't? Over the course of 1 year, I went from 175 pounds down to 155 pounds. I'll be 40 this year. And now that I'm looking better, I often get mistaken for someone who's at least 2 years younger. Number 2, less agitated and irritable. Of course, irritating things are still irritating. But now I can more easily brush off irritating situations and ask myself simple mental health questions such as, does this actually have anything to do with me? Do I need to take this personally? And my favorite, is this my problem or their problem? There's already enough life distractions to go around. Take pride in taking the high road. I'll tell you a secret. There's way less people on the high road. Number 3, I love me again. From the first time a crush or relative asked,
"What's wrong with you?"
we started carrying what became a large collection of chips on our shoulders. After going through awkward teen years, trying to fit in at college parties, and coping to overcome imposter syndrome while trying to enter the professional world, it became easy to lose track of who you are, what matters to you, and what's truly important. Somewhere along the line, we traded in our superhero card and maybe instead dreamt of being the president, or a famous athlete, or maybe a singer or actor. And slowly, we continue to lower the bar, our hopes, our dreams, and our expectations for our own life. We drank to enhance good times, numb the bad times, and deal with any time in between. After being a year sober, I was finally able to check off a very important destination along my journey into sobriety, and to be able to say, I love me, again. Along my journey, I met a woman whose husband was also struggling with alcoholism. When she got to her breaking point with him, she said to him, I can only love you as much as you love yourself. Think about how difficult we made it for people to love us simply because we weren't loving ourselves. Number 4, I've become generally more optimistic. Either you're a glass half full person or a glass half empty. But it becomes pretty easy to stop believing in yourself when the most recent resume of your life looks like a shoebox full of bar tabs. After we create enough distance between us and toxic, embarrassing behaviors, we can get to sleep a little easier at night knowing that the Mr. Hyde to our Dr. Jekyll hasn't been seen for a little while. And when we wake up the next morning, we aren't worried about what we may have done or said the night before, who we might have been with, or how much money we thought we should have in our bank accounts. When we start to add up the small and incremental changes over the span of a year, a future that you can be excited about starts to become a reality because current you has consistently eliminated the old habits of past you. And after all, what better way to get rid of a pessimistic outlook on life but by simply getting out of the way of your own blessings? Number 5, more gratitude. I have way more gratitude for life instead of feeling so dismal and consistently saying things like, what's the point? Who cares? Everything sucks. When I remember phrases like highs are just as unsustainable as lows are undesirable, it helps me to remember that every moment isn't supposed to be a highlight reel. And that all the positive things that I have in my life currently is something that I prayed, wished, or hoped for at some point. Never take anything for granted. If you woke up pain-free, with a roof over your head, food in your refrigerator, employed, and people like and love you, then you've already won the lottery. So start acting like it. To think of all of life's possibilities, you could have been a tree, a weed, or a butterfly, but you get to experience life as a human being with free will. Are you grateful yet? Number 6, more maturity, mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, and financially. Let's face it, sobriety alone fixes nothing individually. Think of sobriety as removing the thorn from your own proverbial side. When we make mature decisions to face life head on, to be present, we take on a level of accountability which we had pawned off repeatedly onto tomorrow. We like to say that intoxication is like charging today's ambitions to the credit card of your own future. Every day, more and more literal and figurative debt piles up and compounds into crippling amounts of existential debt that you feel like you mentally have to bankrupt yourself out of. Sobriety made me feel like I was able to work first, second, and third shifts, to finally get caught up on the people, places, and things in my life that are most important. Lucky number 7. I saved approximately one shitload of money. When I got to the end of my drinking career, I finally built up the courage to ask myself a very big question, which was, how much money am I wasting on alcohol and alcohol-related expenses? It turns out that I was wasting roughly $1,000 a month. Conservative estimates put me at around $600 per month. Either way, it was a lot. And of course, the more I drank, the less I wanted to work. I was getting to the point that I was only taking clients and jobs where it wouldn't be looked down upon if I were drinking on the clock. I found a way to surround myself with enablers who also wanted to be enabled because misery loves company. Using the Quitzilla app and the formula of wasting $30 a day, today I have saved $8,000 on alcohol, partying, going out, shitty foods, and you name it. I've since used that money and reinvested in myself, in my business, and have had one of the best financial years. I've accomplished the most that I ever have in my 1 year of sobriety, and I'm excited to see what year 2 has in store for me. Number 8, inspiring others. Since starting this channel 3 years ago, it took me 2 very public detours to recalibrate my sober journey and finally get 1 year of consecutive sobriety. In year 1 and 2 of this channel, we managed to get about 200 to 300 subscribers. But when I finally decided to take my sobriety seriously, we went from 400 subscribers all the way to 8,000 subscribers for an increase of 2,000%. That's better than Bitcoin. Our videos have been seen 500,000 times and racked up thousands of comments, all of which I read personally, by the way. There isn't a day that doesn't go by where somebody doesn't reach out via comment, email, snail mail, or our website to let us know that this content has either changed their lives or saved their lives. And that is what it's all about. And I give God the glory. On top of that, my mom is now also 7 months sober, and some of my closest friends are now at or surpassed 6 months sober as well. In the beginning of this channel, we barely had anyone reporting as little as a week sober, including myself. Now, we're regularly celebrating people getting 30, 60, 90 days sober, 6 months sober, or 1 or more years sober. And we are the only community that celebrates your sobriety. To get your free sobriety shout out on your next sobriety milestone, sign up on our website at GettingSoberAgain.com. Number 9,
I feel joy again.
it's easy to watch the world crumbling around you while cracking open another bottle to numb the pain of your own induced nightmare. And I know that some of you had things happen to you that you didn't ask for and wouldn't wish upon your worst enemy. One of the things that I really hoped would happen for me, and I'm happy to say that it did, was that I feel happy more often. Which is not to say that I feel happy all of the time or often, but it certainly is more often than it previously had been. Simple things like cleaning up the house, going for a walk or a bike ride, meal prepping, going to the gym, playing tennis, calling friends or family on the phone, excited to talk about life improvements instead of dramatic reasons why things are still going wrong. Now when people ask how I'm doing, instead of saying things like another day in paradise or living the dream, I can actually and honestly say that I am living my best life and life has never been better. Number 10, the big random list of improvements and accomplishments. I feel like it can go on and on, but of course, nobody likes videos that are any longer than they should be.
Sorry.
So let's treat this like the grand finale of a firework display and go out with a bang, shall we? Here's a list of improvements that I've also observed over the past year. I'm way less thirsty. I have more inner peace. I have less impulsive behaviors. I'm more disciplined. I say yes to more beneficial life experiences. I say no to more of life distractions. I have more time in the day, more clients, more time to take naps. I have a better reputation. I have less fear of missing out. I smile more. I'm happier. I'm more inspired. I'm more present. I have healthier hair, healthier skin, improved memory, more stamina. I'm stronger. I have faster gym recovery time. I have no more cold hands or feet. I go to bed excited for the next day. I also never worry about getting pulled over anymore. And I also now wake up at a normal, productive human time. And lastly, life is just more manageable now. Goals seem more realistic. I believe in myself now, more than ever. After a certain amount of time, people start to notice that you're genuinely making the effort to improve your life. People start to trust you again because you start to trust you again. When you start looking for the truth, you must be prepared to accept the answers, good, bad, or otherwise. Know that you're probably a little behind in life, but life isn't over, and you aren't limited to the mistakes of your past. A large part of my success for getting 1 year sober is that I no longer participate in activities or hang out with people that'll lead to temptation, or that might sabotage my sobriety journey. I will say that most of the positive things that I hoped for out of sobriety actually came true. And yes, it is worth it. There were certainly two very trying times during the first year of sobriety, one of which was around 3 months. Once sobriety became easy around 3 months, I started to come down off the high of sober life. I knew that I had some very real work to do. I knew that I had some apologies to make, a reputation to mend, and more than a few bills to get caught up on. It was time to be accountable, to do the real work, and steer the ship into slow change. It was time to work on my own sobriety montage, to keep myself motivated as if someone, someday, were going to watch the story of my life, or at least have to listen to it on YouTube. Between months 7 and 9, I had a particularly hard time, but looking back at it, it was simply because I flat out wasn't used to working this hard on anything. When the going got tough, I got drunk, or high, or both. But once we got into the championship rounds, so to speak, months 10, 11, and 12, I started to become truly acclimated to my new normal. I started getting used to seeing money in my bank account. I started getting used to the positivity from my friends, family, and this online community. It was as if the universe was waiting just long enough to see if I would mess things up, again. In terms of the cons of being 1 year sober, the only one that really comes to mind is that I thought that I would have never-ending youthful energy. But then I remembered I would get tired and have to take a nap when I was a kid. And I was sober then, except I was probably all hopped up on sugar and the thrill of all life being new and exciting. We're supposed to get tired. We're human. We are not machines. And now that I'm not artificially stimulated or sedated, getting to settle into a circadian rhythm is more than okay with me. The fear of missing out is something that people will always have to try to manage as they try to navigate being comfortable in their own skin in public, which, as we remember, is one of the main reasons why we drank. But when we reevaluate what it is that we want out of life, we come to conclusions such as, yeah, I don't really like going to crowded bars or nightclubs. I kind of had to poison myself literally and figuratively to even consider going to those places. So guess what? Now you don't have to do stuff or hang out with people that you don't really want to anymore.
#adulting.
Your family is still going to be your family, and I know holidays for some of you are reasons enough to drink. But keep this in mind. You may be the only sober relative or friend that they have. And you never know who you're going to inspire with your sobriety. So with that, I want to cordially invite you to get your free sobriety shout out from us at our website, GettingSoberAgain.com. There's a link in the video description down below. Make sure that you stop by for our Sober Weekend live stream and live chat every Friday and Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. And don't forget to set your notifications to all. Seriously, how else are you gonna get the notifications when we go live? And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to leave a comment for either me or one of the many members of our amazing community in the comment section down below. And if your sobriety is important to you, make sure that you subscribe and tell somebody else about the work that we're doing here.
Pretty please.
And with that, I want to wish you good luck on your sobriety journey, and I will see you in the next video.